5 weeks after the start of the season, Rugby League returns to Sheffield, this time to Bramall Lane, where the Sheffield Eagles are hosting the World Club champions Widnes, fresh from their marvellous victory on Wednesday night at Old Trafford against the Australian champions Canberra Raiders. And what a big game it is for the Eagles today. With 3 wins from 4 league games, their only loss being on the opening day to St Helens at Hillsborough, the Eagles are really looking forward to challenging the English premiers and World Club champions. And I have my good friend here today with me, Steve Alderson, Rugby League connoisseur for many seasons. And Steve, a great game in prospect today at Bramall Lane. We've got the World Club champions here playing the first game after Wednesday night's match at Old Trafford. Do you anticipate that the Widnes side will be leg weary after that marvellous victory on Wednesday?
Well, they would have a right to be, I think. It was a fantastic occasion on Wednesday evening, and Widnes did British Rugby League proud in a fine performance, especially coming back from a 12-0 deficit in the first 20 minutes to win the game handsomely in the end. They are an awesome team. It is in some ways the ultimate test for Sheffield today. They've already established credibility in the first division through their performances and victories, but today's anything like a good performance today will establish them as having rather more than credibility. They will feature amongst the best sides in the league. I think the key to playing Widnes is to have the first line of defence absolutely tight, because once they break your defence, they have the pace, the power and the support play to finish off from anywhere on the field, 90 yards, 50 yards, 30 yards.
Who are the Widnes players that the viewers ought to watch out for today in particular, do you think?
Well, I think a lot of attention in the Widnes team has been paid to the backs, and obviously Martin O'Fire is a most talented player and a very difficult man to stop, but much underrated, I think, have been the Widnes forwards. And I thought on Wednesday night the basis for that victory was laid by the work of Kurt Sorensen and Joe Grimmer, who must be one of the bargain buys of the last few seasons, and the excellent David Hume at halfback, who is a superb organiser.
Can you see any weaknesses that Sheffield might be able to exploit?
I think it's difficult to find weaknesses in the Widnes side. They are awesome in their power and pace. I feel that the best way to play them is to try and frustrate them. You've got to move up very quickly in defence, try and prevent their forwards from making ground, try and put pressure on the kicker. David Hume is a very good kicker for tactical position, and try and wear them down that way. But if you allow them to run with the ball and you allow them to play it wide, they will run you ragged.
I assume as well today that for Sheffield Eagles a good start is vital. If they let Widnes get on top of them early on, then they might as well wave them goodbye.
Yes, indeed. I think that's very much the case. The longer Sheffield are in the game, the longer they frustrate Widnes, the better their chances, I would say.
Good. And who do you anticipate the stars being for Sheffield today? A heavy burden must lie on the Sheffield players, but I imagine they must be relishing the challenge.
Oh, certainly. This is the sort of game for which they need known motivation. The quality of the opposition, the World Club champions, should be enough to make every player play to his absolute potential. Obviously, I think there are a number of class players in the Sheffield side. Darryl Powell has always struck me as being a superb player. Jeff Hardy, who I saw as a schoolboy when he toured here in 1983 with the James Cook High School, is a splendid player, and I'm glad to see that he's making an impression in English Rugby League. And also up front, Bruce Maguire, an Australian Test player of undoubted class. Never knows when to give in.
Thank you, Steve. And we are now just about 10 minutes away from the start of the game. So if we can just run through both teams for the benefit of the viewers, starting with Sheffield first of all, wearing number 1 at fullback David Maiko. In the 3/4, wearing number 2 on the right wing, David Nelson. Number 3 right centre, Andrew Dickinson. At number 4, playing in the left centre position, we have Darryl Powell. Wearing number 5 and moving there from last week's full-back position, Mark Gamson. Wearing 6 at stand-off, Jeff Hardy. And at 7, scrum half, Mark Aston. Moving into the forwards, in the front row, we have at number 8, Paul Broadbent. At number 9, playing hooker, Mick Cook. And at number 10, the ever-reliable Gary Van Bellen. In the back row, we have at 11, Sonny Nicol. At 12, Bruce Maguire. And at 13, the other Australian, Warren Smiles. And then the 2 substitutes for Sheffield today, at 14, Nick Halafihi, and at 15, Nick Grimolby. And looking at this brilliant Widnes side, stars from 1 to 15, we have at full-back, wearing number 1, Alan Tate. In the three-quarters, wearing number 2 on the right wing, Bramall Lane. Wearing number 3, Andy Courier. At 4, Darren Wright. At 5, the brilliant Martin Afire. And at half-back at number 6, standoff half, Jonathan Davis. At number 7, David Hume. And in the forwards, we have at 8, Joe Grimmer. 9, Phil McKenzie. And 10, Derek Pike. And in the back row, we have at 11, Kurt Sorensen. 12, Paul Hume. 13, Richard Ayres. And the substitutes for Widnes at 14, Barry Dowd. And at 15, Paul Moriarty. And Widnes have come out onto the pitch and they're about to receive the Team of the Month award. Of course, they've had a magnificent past few weeks. They're undefeated in the league so far, undefeated in the Lancashire Cup, and of course the month for them was culminated last Wednesday night at Old Trafford when they defeated the champions of Australia, the Canberra Raiders, in a thrilling game by 30 points to 18. But now the Eagles come onto the field, led by Darryl Powell, and it looks as though they're being introduced individually to the crowd giving the Eagles a great reception, and what a fantastic game is in prospect for us. Two sides of the ground open today. We've got the main stand here at Bramall Lane below us, which is getting rather packed with spectators. The Eagles anticipating a crowd of about 8,000 today, and it looks as though they might be well on course to get that figure. And certainly we'd anticipate that a lot of the spectators here today at Bramall Lane are probably witnessing their very first rugby league game, and it's vital, Steve Alderson, isn't it, that the Eagles put on a good performance to attract some of these people back for future occasions. Yes,
I think they've proved themselves already with 3 away wins in the First Division, but today would be the icing on the cake. If they could run Widnes close, or even, dare we hope, beat them, then that would certainly make the Sheffield public very much more aware of rugby league as a tremendous spectator sport.
That's right. It was interesting that at Wakefield last week the Eagles had quite a good travelling support with them, and the supporters gave the Eagles a bit of stick in the first half, in fact, when they went down by 14 points to 2. But in the second half, when the Eagles came back strongly, the supporters got well behind them, and the supporters must be absolutely delighted with the team's progress so far. In rugby league over the last few years, we've had what people call a yo-yo system of teams coming up from the second division and going straight back down again, but the Eagles must feel fairly confident now that they're going to break that syndrome.
Well, certainly, with 3 away victories in particular, this is a splendid start, probably the best start that any promoted side has had in recent seasons, provided that they steer reasonably clear of injuries. I can see no reason why Sheffield shouldn't achieve at least a respectable mid-table position.
And we have the two captains, Darryl Powell and Kurt Sorensen, just tossing a coin in the middle of the field. And it looks as though the Eagles are going to play from our right to left. Today's referee, Mr. Ray Tennant, who of course was noted for being in charge of the 3 test series over the summer in New Zealand when the New Zealanders took on the Australians. Of course, that ended up being a 3-0 victory for the Australians, a very strong Australian team. And of course, Bruce Maguire of Sheffield represented Australia in that series, so he will be well known to Mr. Tennant. As we're about to kick off, it's the Eagles to kick off. Mark Aston, a great cheer from the crowd, and the Eagles kick down into the Widnes half of the field. The Widnes players cautious, picking it up. It's Bramall Lane gets the ball, runs at the defence. The Eagles defence there, straight up quickly to tackle him. Kebby taking some time to get up and play the ball, but this time it comes out onto Joe Grimmer. It was Martin Afire, in fact, with the ball when I've already made my first mistake. But it's the Widnes side still with the ball. Richard Ayres this time, well tackled by a 2-man Sheffield defence. Sheffield defence moving up quickly so far early in the game, but Jonathan Davis has the ball this time at standoff. Not a very good kick from Davis. Oh, but knocked on by David Nelson. Big match nerves, I think, by the Sheffield wingman there. Steve Alderson, I thought that was really quite a tentative kick by Davis, and I was rather surprised to see Nelson knocking on at this stage. A touch of nerves there, I think. Touch
of nerves, yes. I think the pressure put on Davis by Bruce Maguire contributed to the lack of distance in the kick, but unfortunately Nelson fumbled.
And Widnes have the ball from the scrum. We're down. We've had one tackle, and it's Widnes. The Widnes put forward. Derek Pike with the ball gives it out to his supporting players. David Hume safely tackled though by Sheffield. So Sheffield made one mistake so far, but they've got to settle into this game quickly. And it's Joe Grimmer breaking through, gives it to man in support, but Widnes dropped the ball. So that's one mistake by each side so far, and it's a scrum down with Sheffield to put the ball in. Mark Aston to put the ball in for Sheffield, and certainly Sheffield could do with getting the ball from this scrum. And it's coming out onto the Sheffield side. Aston gets the ball. This is the first time Sheffield have had it during the game. We've had about 2 minutes of play so far. And it's a Sheffield loose forward. Warren Smiles just holding onto the ball, not taking any risks at this stage in the game. Sheffield playing it tight. And that time it was Mick Cook who just took on the Widnes defence. Sheffield just in the Widnes half of the field. But it's Widnes man caught offside. I think it was Joe Grimmer who's being indicated there as the offender. And that's a fairly straight kick in front of the post that Mark Aston's going to take. And this is a tremendous opportunity for the Eagles to take an early lead in this game. Steve, what a tremendous confidence booster that would be if Mark Aston could kick this goal.
Well, any early points are important in the game, and if Sheffield get them, that will lift their confidence, lift their self-belief, their willingness to believe they can beat Widnes today.
So this is a mighty important kick for Aston. Of course, he was the leading goal kicker in the whole of the Rugby Football League last year. And he needs that degree of consistency because it's a long way out. Despite being in front of the post, it's about 40 yards away from the post, but here he goes now. And is it there? No, he's missed it. Well, that's a disappointment for the Eagles, but the ball's gone dead, so it will be a drop out by Widnes from their own 25, and it's Jonathan Davis who's going to take this kick. Jonathan Davis looks as though he's going to take all the Widnes kicks today. Playing at standoff half, which is unusual for him in the Rugby League code. It's Sonny Nicol just pushing off defenders, but a three-man Widnes defence there is not allowing Nicol to proceed very far. This time it's Gary Van Bellen. Van Bellen gives it to Maguire. Maguire to Smiles. Smiles dumbing his way through. Good play by Sheffield. Good play by Warren Smiles, the Australian. A much underrated Australian when he came to Sheffield last season. They signed him from Bramley. But he's been a tremendous asset to this club, and it's Mark Aston puts a short kick through into touch, and that's a good short kick by Aston. The crowd getting behind Sheffield, applauding Aston there. And Eagles making a steady start. They failed to convert the penalty, but they've gained ground inside the Widnes 25-yard area. The field markings are a little confusing today. We've still got the football pitch markings clearly laid out, as well as the Rugby League pitch markings, but they're about 20 yards out from the Widnes line. The scrum collapsed when David Hume put the ball in, and Mr. Tennant insists on it going in again. This time it comes out not very convincingly on the Widnes side. It's Brian McKebby. Gets the ball, but tackled by Smiles. Widnes throwing it inside. Richard Ayres gets the ball this time. Well tackled. Gary Van Bellen in there. And Warren Smiles and Mick Cook. And all that tackling is going to need doing today. And certainly the Eagles' defence up to the task so far. That time it was Jeff Hardy, but again there's an offside, this time against Sheffield. Over-eagerness on the part of the Eagles. Mr. Tennant giving the penalty to Widnes. And Jonathan Davis putting the ball into touch. And Widnes working a move here. It's Darren Wright, but Darren Wright well tackled by Mick Cook again. And an intricate move, Richard Ayres giving the ball out to Paul Hume. Hume going down the left wing. And what can Widnes do this time? Well, Widnes not making much ground, Steve, against this tight Sheffield defence so far.
The Sheffield defence has looked pretty good. They've moved up pretty quickly and hurried Widnes into mistakes. Widnes have not made too impressive a start. They've fumbled the ball on a couple of occasions without much pressure. So it may be that the glories of Wednesday night is maybe a sign.
That's right, as we get it, it was David Hume there who knocked on for Widnes. The ball comes out to the Sheffield side from this scrum, and it's Darrell Powell trying to burst through, nearly makes it through. Good progress by Powell, still going strong. And Alan Tate didn't seem to be able to put him down there. Warren Smiles gives it to Andy Dickinson. But what's the referee awarding here? This looks like a obstruction penalty to Widnes. I'm slightly surprised at that, Steve. I don't know whether you thought that penalty award was justified.
I didn't really see what he gave that for. Yes, he's given no obstruction, but it's given Widnes position inside the Sheffield half now with clear 6 tackles to come.
And it seemed a fairly harsh decision. So suddenly Sheffield, from applying pressure on Widnes, have the pressure applied on them instead, and it's Joe Grimer comes forward, a very strong Kiwi New Zealander. We saw on Wednesday night what a handful he was for the Canberra Raiders. And this time it goes to the other prop forward, Derek Pike. Pike gives it to the Widnes hooker, Phil McKenzie. What a tremendous front row Widnes have. But this time it's Pike again. No, Pike. That was a dummy move by Widnes. It's David Hume. Hume giving it to Richard Ayres. Richard Ayres well tackled though by Paul Broadbent. A long pass out to Jonathan Davis has the ball, but Davis can't do anything with it. Well, comfortably tackled by the Eagles. Andy Courier this time goes for a solo run, but can't make much ground, and we're on to the last tackle. Important for the Eagles not to wander offside at this one, and this could be a drop kick, but no, Jonathan Davis puts the ball in the air, high in the air. This is for the fullback, David Maiko. Can he take it? It drops it forward. Oh, and that's a bad mistake by the Eagles. This could be a try. It's a fire. And well tackled. The Eagles defence recovered well there. That looked as though it might well have been a Widnes try, but the referee has ruled that I think it was it a forward pass? I'm not quite sure. It was a forward pass, and that was a let off for the Eagles. That was a good kick by Davis. Maiko couldn't take it very effectively. Knocked it to a Widnes player, but this time the ball's come out on the Sheffield side. So Sheffield breathe again as it's Warren Smiles who goes forward. Smiles wearing the head cap. And this time it comes out onto the left. It's Bruce Maguire with the ball. Darrell Powell just dummying his way through. Can't make his way through, but the Eagles have got out of their 25 area. Making good ground, and this time it's Mark Aston putting a long kick downfield. It goes over the head of Alan Tate. That's a good kick, but the Eagles have to make ground following it. And Tate comes forward, strong running full-back Tate, but comfortably tackled by the Eagles defence. So the Eagles containing Widnes well. Just made a couple of crucial mistakes so far in the game, but fortunately they've not been heavily punished for them. And this time it's David Hume. Hume gives it to Pike. Pike fairly comfortably tackled by the Widnes defence. And it's Widnes again, this time the other prop forward, Grimmer. Those two prop forwards are danger men, but Grimmer's lost the ball. And it's Paul Broadbent who gets up with it. And come on the Eagles, the crowd say. It's Mark Aston. Aston gives it to Maguire. This is a break by Maguire. Brilliant break by Maguire. It's Dickinson. Dickinson going for the line. He gets the ball out. And it's Sonny Nicol. Nicol gives it to Nelson. And it's back to one tackle. And that's great play by the Eagles. The Eagles attacking strongly. It's Mark Aston gives it to Powell. Powell attacking the defence. Powell getting through. 10 yards from the Widnes line. This is good play by the Eagles. The first real pressure they've had. And can they sustain it? It's Jeff Hardy breaking through just 3 yards from the Widnes line. What a sensation this would be if the Eagles could take the lead in this game. It's Warren Smiles. The crowd getting behind them. The crowd chanting Eagles as they're just 2 yards from the line. On the fourth tackle, this is Mark Aston. The ball rebounds. Alan Tate picks it up and he's dropped it. but it's another Widnes player who jumps on it, and Widnes get out of trouble on this occasion. But my goodness, Steve Alderson, they were under pressure there.
Very good attacking play by Sheffield. Bruce Maguire breaking up the centre, plenty of support, plenty of willingness to release the ball, test the Widnes defence.
Do you think the Widnes side are looking tired after last Wednesday night?
Difficult to say at the moment. They shouldn't be tired at this stage in the game, but they look a little bit tentative. But we've already seen signs when they've been in the Sheffield half of the undoubted class of their half-backs and of the pace of their backs. They almost scored in the corner through a fire a few minutes ago. Very good game at this stage.
And this time it's a long kick by Jonathan Davis, just gets into the Sheffield half, but David Nelson collects it comfortably. And the Eagles regroup to attack again. This time it's Jeff Hardy. Hardy trying to push his way through the Widnes defence. It's Jonathan Davis who tackled him that time, though. And it's Darrell Powell. Powell gives it to Maguire. Maguire taking on Kebby. And the ball goes loosely in field and goes to Richard Ayres. Richard Ayres gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen to Tate. Tate to Pike, and this is a good Widnes move onto the left wing. It's Darren Wright, gives it to Martin Afire. Afire kicks forward, and who's going to be first to the ball? It's Sonny Nicholl who dives on it. Well, a good passage of play by Widnes. They showed how dangerous they can be again, but Sheffield fortunate to get the ball after the Afire kick. I thought Afire actually dropped the ball onto his foot. I don't think he intended to kick through, I'm not sure though, but this time it's Mick Cook who gets the ball, just comes forward strongly. Ever reliable, hard-working hooker Mick Cook. What a great servant to Sheffield he's been since signing from the Queen's Park Club in Leeds 2 years ago. But it's a ball downfield by Sheffield, and this time it's Alan Tate who picks the ball up, runs forward, beating the Sheffield defence. Steve, a characteristic of Alan Tate is that he's a very strong runner from defence with a ball. It's you've got to be very careful where you kick it to him, but this time it's Jonathan Davis bursting through.
Yes, if you kick to Tate, you've got to kick past him to make him turn and go to retrieve the ball, but he's very good at running it out of defence.
And it's Widnes with the ball now. It's David Hume. Hume gives it to Sorensen, but Sorensen well tackled by an ambush party from the Eagles who get the ball as well. So that's good play again by the Eagles defence. Tackle the man and get the ball. Oh, a brilliant pass, it's Darrell Powell! Darrell Powell, can he get to the line? Oh, and he's tackled by Brymer Kebby. Didn't quite have the pace to beat Kebby, but my goodness, what a good ball that was. I think it was Bruce Maguire, Steve. I'm not quite sure though.
Thought it was Broadbent actually, but he has plenty of strength by Powell, but the Widnes cover quick enough to get back and take. And good tackle by Kebby.
And this time the ball out on the Sheffield side again. It's with Jeff Hardy. Hardy dummying, trying to break through. It's with Dickinson. Dickinson has got Nelson outside him, but well tackled by Darren Wright. The Eagles putting some pressure on Widnes. Can they get through to score or try in that vital first 10 minutes as it's David Nelson. Nelson gets the ball out to Sonny Nicholl, but the Eagles attack not really ready for that ball. But Eagles back in the Widnes 25. Crucial passage of play for the Eagles. It's Bruce Maguire, bursts onto the ball, tries to take on the Widnes defence. The Widnes defence up to it though on this occasion. They're inside the 10-yard area of Widnes. Well, this is an exciting passage of play. The crowd have been getting behind the Eagles. It's Mark Aston. Aston, what can he do with it? Jeff Hardy gets it to within a yard. And we're on the last tackle. What can the Eagles do now? Can they get over? Can they get over? No, they give a pass to Andy Courier. Well, hard lines Eagles. Steve, again, they look so threatening but couldn't quite get over the line.
Well, that's twice they've been within inches of the line and haven't quite made it. But good play by the Eagles. They're certainly putting pressure on Widnes. They're falling on the loose balls and look very, very keen.
As Widnes try to bring the ball away through Joe Grimmer out of their own 25 area. Oh, and it's a dropped Widnes ball. It must be a knock-on. Well, Mr. Tennant signalled a knock-on. He may have just held on and played advantage. And it was David Hume, I think, who... no, not David Hume, Paul Hume, who was the Widnes culprit who knocked the ball forward there as it's a scrum down with the Sheffield put in. It comes out on the Eagles side. My goodness, it didn't go anywhere near the scrum, that ball, but Mr. Tennant didn't seem to mind. And it looks as though he's going to let anything go in the scrums today. as the ball with Mick Cook. Mick Cook fortunate that ball went to Dickinson. He just lost it, and Dickinson was just standing behind him. He was grateful to collect that ball, but who's got it now? Dickinson still has it as it's a Sheffield play the ball. Mark Aston gives it to Powell. Powell a chip forward, but the ball rebounds to Jeff Hardy, and it's back to one tackle. Fortune favouring Sheffield at the moment, as it's David Myko running forward from the full-back position. That young man who played so well when he came on as a substitute last week at Wakefield, and it's Gary Van Bellen, this time taking on the Widnes defence, and Mr. Tennant spotting an indiscretion by Joe Grimmer. And Steve, I'd say that Widnes have been looking fairly tentative so far. They don't look like a typical Widnes side so far. They look as though they may be suffering the after effects of Wednesday night.
Possibly a little bit. They've lost possession on 2 or 3 occasions, and Sheffield have been very quick to take that loose ball. Most of the pressure and the territorial advantage so far to Sheffield, but you only need to make one mistake to lose the ball on one occasion, even attacking, and Widnes have the pace and the men to go the length of the field to score. So you've got to be on your absolute mettle to continue to put the pressure on them. But a chance now for Aston to put Sheffield into the lead with a penalty attempt from about 15 yards in from touch and 27 yards from the try line.
And that looks a great kick by Aston, and the Eagles take the lead after 15 minutes. It's the Eagles 2 points to 0 in the lead over Widnes, the world champions, here at Bramall Lane in Sheffield. And what a great start for the Sheffield Eagles. So what a tremendous start, Steve Alderson, for the Eagles. 2 points to 0 up, and really, if they can hold on to this lead and build this lead, what a tremendous upset this would be.
Yeah, it's very early days yet, but a very good start and a deserved lead for the Eagles. They've been the better side so far, exerted more pressure and looked more secure in possession.
As it's David Nelson who comes forward from defence and tries to get through the whole of the Eagles, the whole of the Widnes side. Refuses to go down, and that's the spirit of the Eagles so far this season and so far this afternoon, as Gary Van Bellen, that ever-reliable workhorse, just makes his 3 or 4 yards, forcing the Widnes side to tackle him. Having some difficulty getting up to play the ball, but Widnes not penalised by the referee. And it's a kick downfield, but fairly comfortably taken by Brian McKebby. Kebby with Tate on his outside, gives the ball to Tate, but Tate runs into the unwelcome attention of Jeff Hardy and loses the ball. Well, Widnes have lost the ball on several occasions so far, and it's with the Eagles again. The Eagles trying to battle to get into the Widnes half of the field, and certainly the Eagles haven't looked overawed so far today. They've gone after the ball, and this is a great break by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy breaking through. I thought he had the support, Stephen. He may have passed inside.
Yes, he chose the option of gaining extra yards. He had Powell inside him, but chose to go on his own. The Eagles keeping up the attack, though. They're going forward at every play of the ball. They're making the gain line and putting the pressure on the Widnes defence.
And just 10 yards from the Widnes line, Mick Cook playing the ball, gives it to Warren Smiles. Smiles to Aston back to Darryl Powell, switches direction of play, and Powell gets within that 10-yard area. 2 Widnes defenders on him. He's got to make sure he doesn't lose that ball, though. And Warren Smiles waiting to take the ball at acting halfback. What's he going to do with it? Gives it to Paul Broadbent. Broadbent bursting through, but can't quite give it to the man in support. And it's Smiles again. Smiles playing the acting halfback role. A short kick through by Mark Aston. It could be a try. Oh, it's a try by Jeff Hardy. What a brilliant piece of play by the Eagles. Well, that must be a move that the Eagles team had all been waiting for. Jeff Hardy seemed to know exactly what was coming up, and the Eagles take a 6-point lead with a certain conversion to come. And Steve Alderson, what a fantastic try that was by the Eagles.
Well, they've come straight back up the field. And within the 6 tackles, they've put pressure on Widnes again, and a splendid kick from Aston near the line. Jeff Hardy following up to score. But it's just what the Eagles deserve. They're now 6 points in the lead, 8 with this conversion. We trust 8-0, nothing less than they deserve at this stage.
And it's Widnes about to kick off again. Downfield. Oops. Well, a mistake this time by Warren Smiles. That was a very tricky kick by Jonathan Davis. Steve, Eagles perhaps just getting a little overconfident there.
Yes, the sort of mistake you see after a kick-off quite frequently, and they can be fatal. Head and ball to the Widnes team now, and 6 tackles in which to work. Here's a fire, and I think on the line, over on his back, so no try. But Sheffield a little fortunate there. Widnes almost took advantage of that mistake from the kick-off.
It just shows what mistakes can lead to, unfortunately for Sheffield, but they've been let off again, and certainly they've had a little bit of good fortune. They did well to hold a fire on his back on that occasion, but this time the ball comes out on the Sheffield side, so Sheffield holding a clean defence at the moment, as it's with Jeff Hardy. Hardy runs forward strongly, tackled well by Paul Hume though, but a strong player, young Jeff Hardy. First came over to England a few years ago with an Australian schoolboy side, and plays with the Illawarra Steelers, of course, in Australia. And this time it's Mark Aston going to kick downfield, tries to kick away from Tate, and that could be going into touch. That's a good kick by Mark Aston, relieves the pressure on the Eagles, Steve.
Yes, Aston's kicking game has been very good so far. He's got the ball up to the halfway line. Widnes will have head and ball at the scrum, should take possession, but again, if the Sheffield defence is working as hard as it has done so far, they ought to be able to hold them and put pressure on.
And it's Jonathan Davis this time, tries to burst through, but well held by the Eagles defence. I think the Eagles have been primed to take care of the Widnes half-backs today, and this time it's Richard Ayres. But Richard Ayres well tackled again by the Australian Bruce Maguire. Maguire coming forward again to tackle to tackle Andy Courier. Teammates not long ago at Balmain, of course, those two, so Maguire will know Courier's attacking potential very, very well, and the ball goes across to Davis. Davis gives it to Alan Tate. Tate gives it to Darren Wright. Wright tackle and loses the ball, and it's the Eagles again. My goodness, Steve, the Widnes side are losing a lot of ball today.
Superb tackle by Nelson. If ever attack through defence was well illustrated, it was then. He shook him hard and took the ball, and Sheffield now have possession.
And in fact, Darren Wright still on the floor, and it's with David Nelson. This time Nelson trying to burst through, but well tackled by David Hume. And what a good player David Hume is, the Widnes scrum half, anticipating the Sheffield attack that time, and if it hadn't been for him, Nelson would have had a thrilling chase with Martin Afire.
Yes, he read the situation well. Nelson got on the outside, but Hume was quick and alert enough to come back and cover him.
And it's Alan Tate again with the ball. Widnes took it from that scrum, and they're still inside their own half. No sign of panic yet from Widnes, as the referee gives a penalty for another Eagles offside. Eagles kicking themselves for that, of course, because it's a needless putting of pressure on themselves, as Jonathan Davis kicks the ball downfield into touch, makes no mistake with that kick. And what a fascinating game this is turning out to be. Widnes give the ball to Joe Grimmer, one of the heroes of Wednesday night, as I keep saying. What a find this man's been for Widnes. But this time it's Richard Ayres. Sheffield defence not moving forward as quickly as it has been doing, but Paul Hume has the ball going across field. Very tentative play by Widnes, and fairly easily tackled by the Eagles defence. What can Widnes do? Oh, and it's another drop ball, and it's the Eagles again who get it, and this time Mark Gamson. Well, it's an awful long time since I've seen Widnes lose as much ball as they're doing today. I'm sure that must be a reaction, but this time it's Paul Broadbent who loses it for Sheffield, and I thought that was very slow by Alan Tate, Steve. He should have been on that ball, surely.
Yes, Sheffield are falling on the loose balls. That was the first one that Widnes have had to fall on and didn't. But from the scrum, they should get possession.
And it's David Hume. Hume gives it to Courier, this big, long, striding centre. Courier gives it inside. But it was Kurt Sorensen who was well tackled by the Eagles defence this time. And the ball going across field to Derek Pike. And it's Tate who ends up with the ball, and he's tackled by Andy Dickinson. The pressure on Sheffield this time. Widnes need to come through to score, though. They're 8 points behind as it's Richard Ayres bursting through. Gets into the 25 of Sheffield. And this is pressure building up by Widnes. What can they do? The ball comes to Derek Pike. Derek Pike, this great ball playing prop forward. He lets the ball go, though. And it comes back to Tate. Tate picks it up this time. Tate bursting through the defence, and the ball goes right out to a fire. A fire falls, though. Can't pick the ball up, and it's Jonathan Davis who has it this time. Well, we've not seen a tremendous amount of Jonathan Davis, but he was in a fortunate position there to tidy up that loose ball by Widnes. A high ball, and it goes to Maiko. No, it's Mark Aston who takes it well for Sheffield. Darryl Powell just held by the legs by Phil McKenzie, and it's Jeff Hardy again. My goodness, Steve, you know, the Eagles are running hard at this Widnes defence and making ground, aren't they?
They certainly are. I think they're reaching the gain line on every play, and that's very important. They're able then to put to have less pressure on the kicker, and so on that occasion they were able to kick downfield and pass Tate, so he has to go backwards to retrieve it, and now he's only brought it out 35 yards from the line. Now Kebba brings it up from acting halfback.
And certainly, I think it's quite interesting. Tate looks doesn't look as strong running and as forceful as he normally does from that full-back position.
No, not at the moment, but the quality of Sheffield's kicking has been good and has forced him to go backwards. And if a full-back always looks much better if he's able to take a kick coming forwards with momentum. He's got to turn and go backwards. As long as you chase well, he can do it. Here's Sorensen with an excellent tackle again, this time by Smiles.
And that's great play by both sides. It's Joe Grimmer puts a high ball in the Widnes side, certainly testing the Eagles' defence, but young David Maiko takes it well, runs forward, good run forward by Maiko, tries to beat the Widnes defence, but tackled by Jonathan Davis that time, and this time it's Darryl Powell again, makes a lot of ground from the play, the ball situation, he bursts through the Widnes defence. What great play by Darryl Powell, and what a promising player Powell is. Already represented Yorkshire this year and must be one of the players coming into contention for a test place against the New Zealanders this year, and it's Jeff Hardy. Oh, and it's a drop ball by the Eagles. What a shame for the Eagles, because they were putting pressure on Widnes again there, but this time it's Widnes bringing the ball out now. It's a fire got the ball, a fire turning inside though, and well smothered by the Eagles defence. It's David Hume. Hume gives it to Derek Pike. Pike again to a fire this time to David Hume. No to Alan Tate once more. Tate beats his man. Darren Wright gives it to a fire. Oh, and the final pass goes to ground. My goodness, that was threatening play by Widnes. It looked as though it was going to lead to a try.
Yes, one pass of a try, but the Widnes are the most dangerous. Sheffield lost possession there, and Widnes moved the ball very quickly along the line on the first tackle, and they have the pace out wide to cause a lot of problems there, and that's how they got into this position. But Sheffield now again have head and ball at this scrum, so should win it, which they do, and now Hardy brings it away from the scrum and makes a break. Splendid break by Jeff Hardy. Picks up the winger Gamson, and again Sheffield have made 40 yards with that play.
Great play by the Eagles as they're keeping up the momentum. Oh, and that's a lost ball though, a poor pass. Couldn't really blame Broadbent for that. But Widnes straight out to the left wing, and this is threatening for Widnes. It's Darren Wright gets the ball, Wright coming inside. A fire was following him, but Wright couldn't get the ball out there, but they're inside the Sheffield 25 again. And it's Derek Pike this time. Pike holds onto the ball, sells a dummy, but the Eagles defends up to the task. And they're only 15 yards out from the Eagles line. This is danger for the Eagles. David Hume. Hume gives it to Paul Hume, his brother. Hume holds on to the ball, can't shake off Bruce Maguire. Widnes losing ground this time. What can Widnes do with the ball? It's Phil McKenzie takes it, gives it to Sorensen. Sorensen, a great ball to Wright. Wright gives it to the supporting Alan Tate. Oh, and that's a great try by Widnes. I think that was Alan Tate who scored that one. Was it? Who's the scorer? We're not quite certain. Phil McKenzie was the scorer. Difficult to recognise who the player was from this range. Steve, a good reply by Widnes.
Yes, over the last 5 minutes or so, they've been able to sustain some pressure, and really what they deserve. A good try, good play by Mackenzie, who set off that move and then supported on the inside to finish it.
And after 31 minutes, the score moves to Eagles 8, Widnes 4, and quite a tricky kick for Jonathan Davis, just about 10 yards in from touch, about 25 yards just inside the 25-yard area. And this would put Widnes back to within 2 points of the Eagles, but certainly it's been a great Eagles display so far. And the Eagles have looked eager and willing and full of spirit. But what can Davis do this time? Every point's going to be crucial in this game. Can Davis convert it? And no, the answer is he can't. Steve, a lot of people are surprised that Jonathan Davis is taking the goal kicks for Widnes when Andy Currier was such a strong goal kicker for Widnes last season and with Bramall Lane during the summer in Australia.
Yes, perhaps so. Currier has a pretty good record in Australia in a very high pressure competition for goal kicking. Davis obviously has a good reputation from his rugby union days, but on Wednesday evening it was striking that Davis missed a few of his goal shots, though he did kick a vital pressure kick from the touchline. He has a big match temperament.
That's right. And it's Mark Aston puts a ball deep into the Widnes half of the field. It's Richard Ayres who picks it up. Richard Ayres, this very promising loose forward who could be in test action this summer for Great Britain against New Zealand. And this time it's Sorensen charging forward with the ball. Widnes starting to put it together now, but still penned inside their own half. As it's Paul Hume runs forward. Two brothers, of course, in the Widnes side. David Hume at scrum half and Paul Hume in the second row. As Jonathan Davis dropped back to kick the ball downfield, and it's a tricky ball to pick up. And David Maiko has a go at it, but fortunately knocks it backwards. And it's Andy Currier comes forward to tackle him. And Sheffield now right on their own 25 area. Mark Aston has the ball. Mick Cook in support. Cook tries to burst through. Paul Hume trying to take the ball off him. Cook manages to hold on to it. And it's Warren Smiles at acting half-back. Paul Broadbent gets the ball. And certainly the Sheffield pack have been up to the task so far. This much vaunted Widnes side, of course, a great side they are. And that's a superb kick by Sheffield, sends Widnes right back. Tate picks the ball up and runs forward, beats one man, but can't beat the cover defence. David Nelson, the man who tackles him. And this time it's a fire. The man who so many people are keen to see. What a great player this man's been, the leading try scorer in the Rugby League for the last 2 seasons. Came into Rugby League as a novice, but learned the game very quickly. Oh, and this time it's Andy Currier who's dropped the ball, giving it to Mark Gamson. Gamson running around his own players. Again, the Widnes mistake rate continues as it's Gary Van Bellen with the ball now. Van Bellen, this player who's been in the game for so long now, 10 years in Rugby League, Gary Van Bellen. Had many years playing for Bradford Northern. It's Sonny Nicol now. Sonny Nicol bursting through. What a promising player Nicol is. Signed by the Eagles last season from Hunslet. £20,000 capture and a good bargain at that. And Warren Smiles getting nearer and nearer to that Widnes line. Can the Widnes defence hold, or can the Eagles extend their lead before half-time? Oh, that's a great pass from Aston to Darryl Powell. But Powell well tackled by the Widnes defence. Going on the blind side this time. Oh, and he gets the ball away. Broadbent, and Gamson puts a short kick in. Oh, and that's a great tackle. But of course, taken in the in-goal area by Tate. So it's a great Widnes attack. This one, Darren Wright. Oh, and he had a fire outside him, but that was a crucial tackle. I think it was Andy Dickinson who did it. So Widnes still have the ball. Steve, it's an end-to-end game. What an exciting game this is.
It is a splendidly exciting game. Good play by Widnes. They took the tap from the restart from the 25 very quickly there and caught the Sheffield defence a little bit napping. But here's another mistake. Davis dropping the ball. And the rate of knock-ons by Widnes, quite alarming for their coach, I would have thought, at this stage.
It certainly is, and this is going to be a scrum down with Sheffield to put the ball in. So the Eagles should be able to get this ball. We've had 36 minutes so far, and it does come out on the Eagles side. It's with Jeff Hardy. Hardy gives it to David Myko, the young full-back. Myko tries to break the Widnes defence. And this time it's Warren Smiles playing a strong game for the Eagles. All the Eagles playing well so far. Gary Van Bellen takes the ball. Gary Van Bellen represented the Great Britain under-24s back in 1980 against the New Zealand tourists of that year. Now in the veteran stage, but the Eagles still taking the ball forward. It's Mark Aston looking, spinning round. Oh, and what a brilliant play by Aston. Aston breaking through. This is superb play. Brilliant play. It's to Darryl Powell. It could be there. And he's taken into touch. My goodness me, what a brilliant break by Mark Aston. He looked ever so tentative. He didn't look as though he knew what he was doing. But then he spun round and broke through and completely fooled the Widnes defence. Steve, what a great break.
Great break. He just kept going and picked up Powell with a pass at the end and just tackled into touch short of the corner. But again, Sheffield have really been the better side in this first half. They've controlled possession better. They've worked the yardage more efficiently. Although Widnes do look dangerous and, as I said earlier, are capable of scoring from anywhere.
And certainly Widnes haven't found it as easy as they did in the second half on Wednesday night against Canberra. This time Joe Grimmer coming forward strongly though, getting out of their own 25 area, just about on that 25-yard line. It's David Hume. Hume again looks tentative though, can't quite make up his mind what to do. With 2 minutes remaining of this half. 2 minutes to go in the first half, and it's Jonathan Davis puts another kick way downfield. As the Eagles come back to pick the ball up, it's David Myko, picks it up cleanly. The Widnes players not running after it very strongly on that occasion. Tiring a little Widnes after that hard game on Wednesday. Well taken by Jeff Hardy, and did well not to pass the ball out there. Bruce Maguire with the ball this time, and the Eagles again setting a camp in the Widnes half of the field, as it's Paul Broadbent, the young man who's signed from Loch Lane. Gives the ball to Warren Smiles, but Smiles knocks on. That's a shame for the Eagles. It's going to be a Widnes put in at this scrum. The Eagles going into half-time with a 4-point lead, and it would be marvellous for the Eagles to be able to hold on to this lead at half-time, Steve.
Yes, it's vital they don't concede anything now. In the latter stages of the first half, but they've tackled very well, and Widnes have not really sustained pressure. They've looked dangerous on occasions, especially when they've had a bit of room to move from a fair distance, but they've not really sustained pressure consistently in the Sheffield 25.
And this time it's Kurt Sorensen. Sorensen, such a dangerous player for Widnes, but again well handled by the Eagles defence. As Widnes pulling the ball out to the right-hand side of the field. Danger here, two-man overlap possibly, but again well stifled by Bruce Maguire. And what a great asset he is to the Eagles since he's arrived from Australia. Joe Grimmer puts the ball out, it goes to ground. It's with Alan Tate again now though. Tate tries to put a ball out to a Fire has the ball, beats Nelson. Oh, this is typical of Fire. Oh, brilliant play by a Fire. And the ball goes into touch, but Steve Alderson, what a dangerous man Martin Offiah is.
Yes, he left Nelson for dead on that occasion, stepped inside and then outside him, and I think that's half-time. An excellent first half by the Eagles. They deserve thoroughly a 4-point lead. With a little bit more pace, perhaps they could have been a little bit further ahead, but very encouraging. They've held their own, well, more than held their own, against the World Club champions.
And the crowd giving the Eagles a tremendous reception as they come off at the end of the first half. with the score at 8 points to 4. The Eagles with a try by Jeff Hardy, 2 goals by Mark Aston, and for Widnes, 1 try by Phil Mackenzie. So at half-time, Sheffield Eagles 8, Widnes 4, and we'll be back at the start of the second half. And as the Widnes side come back onto the field, it's going to be a tremendous second half, because we've got the half-time score of Eagles 8, Widnes 4, and certainly Widnes are not used to being behind at half-time. And Steve Alderson, the question all the Eagles supporters must be asking is, can the Eagles retain this lead for another 40 minutes?
Well, much will depend on their defensive work early in the half, I think. If they can continue to frustrate and restrain the Widnes attack, then there's every chance, given the way in which they played in the first half, the way in which they've exerted pressure, that they can win this game. But you cannot afford to make errors against the side of the quality of Widnes, and Sheffield will have to play as well as they did in the first half to retain this margin of victory.
Thanks, Steve. And the Eagles have made a substitution, because Nick Grimolb is on the field and he's taken the place of Gary Van Bellen. So the Eagles have a fresh forward on the field, but Widnes also have a substitute. I can see there's Barry Dowd on the field. I'm not quite sure who he's come on for so far. As Widnes kick off, and it's Mark Gamson who gets the ball. Is it Mark Gamson? That was no. As the Eagles bringing the ball out of defence. Oh, and that's great play by Warren Smiles. Smiles gives it to Broadbent. Broadbent bursting through. Oh, he loses the ball. And Widnes pick it up, but that was promising play by the Eagles. But Widnes, in fact, have both substitutes on at the beginning of the second half, and we'll try to work out which 2 Widnes players have gone off the field. I think one of them may be Joe Grimmer, as Kurt Sorensen takes the ball forward. We've got Paul Moriarty on for Joe Grimmer. Moriarty has the ball now. Tries to burst through Warren Smiles' tackle, but Smiles is well up to the task of tackling Moriarty. And it's Mackenzie. Mackenzie gives the ball to Paul Hume. Hume tries to break through, but Grimolby and Smiles tackling him on that occasion. And this time Barry Dowd puts the ball through. It's David Myko who gets the ball. And the referee has ruled that Dowd was shoulder charged down when after he put the ball into the air. And it's a penalty to Widnes. And Jonathan Davis is going to kick at goal from a not too difficult position just outside the 25-yard area. Steve, I don't know whether you saw that very closely. Did you think that was that merited a penalty?
Well, there certainly wasn't any danger from the kick. Gamson had it well covered, so the Sheffield player who did obstruct has given away a needless penalty.
And if this penalty conversion is successful, there'll only be 2 points in it. And the other player substituted, incidentally, is Andy Courier for Widnes. So Andy Courier has been replaced by Barry Dowd. And Joe Grimmer replaced by Paul Moriarty, as Davis puts the ball through the post, straight through the middle of the posts. And Widnes are clawing their way back into this game after 2.5 minutes of the second half. And it's Eagles 8, Widnes 6. And that must give the Eagles confidence to, that must give Widnes confidence to come back into this game. Certainly 37 minutes still to go, plenty of time for them to exercise their skills that are so well known and so renowned. And it's Mark Aston about to put the ball deep into the Widnes defence, I guess. And that's precisely what he does. And it's David Hume who picks it up. Hume runs across, gives it to Richard Ayres. Richard Ayres beats the first line of defence, Bruce Maguire, that time. And Widnes now working a move. It's Paul Hume who gets the ball and is tackled with it. The two Hume brothers look very much alike. As Paul Moriarty brings it forward, Phil Mackenzie this time. Mackenzie gives it to substitute back Barry Dowd, but Barry Dowd well tackled by the Eagles. Bruce Maguire and Warren Smiles prominent there. And this time it's Alan Tate who puts the kick in. But straight to David Nelson. What can Nelson do with it? Bursts through. Well, Nelson certainly looks impressive, bursting through the tackle of Richard Ayres there. This time it's Mick Cook. The Eagles in the Widnes half. What can they do with it? Oh, and it's Sonny Nicol running onto the ball. There's a gap there on the left. Support play. This is Darryl Powell. Powell, though. And that was a forward pass, Steve. That didn't look a forward pass to me.
Marginal. I don't think referee was directly in line, but he just adjudged it to be forward. Perhaps a slightly harsh one.
And it's Widnes to put the ball in. Comes out on the Widnes side. It's David Hume. Hume gives it to Dowd. And it's quite interesting that Barry Dowd, I think, has moved to stand off, and Jonathan Davis moved back into the centre.
Yes, Dowd's certainly playing nearer to the play, and Davis has gone a little bit wider.
Richard Ayres this time trying to break through. They're in the Eagles half. And it's Paul Hume. Hume runs strongly forward. Well tackled though again by Maguire and Mick Cook. What a strong tackling pack the Eagles have these days. And what a Widnes trying to do with it here. David Hume. Hume running towards the left-hand side of the field, but can't get the ball away. And Widnes looking somewhat lethargic to me. Steve, I don't think Widnes are looking as sharp as we'd normally expect them to look.
Certainly not. It looks as if the toll of Wednesday night has slowed them down a little bit. They're not as alert, and again Sheffield come up with the ball. Mistake, Mackenzie losing possession and taken by Dickinson.
And what a tremendous performance by the Eagles. It's Sonny Nicol coming forward. Well tackled though by Moriarty. A real smother tackle by Moriarty. And they move it down to the blind side. And it's Warren Smiles trying to burst through with it. No, it's Nick Grimolby trying to burst through with the ball. Two of the Sheffield players now have head caps. It's Smiles this time. Smiles gets the ball away well to Mick Cook. And Smiles has lost his cap, in fact, now. But it's still the Eagles. Mark Aston nearly lost that ball, and this is a good kick by Aston. Is it going into touch? It's just going. Well, what a good kick, Steve, by Mark Aston, putting pressure on Widnes again.
Yes, good kick right on into the corner. Actually, pretty well played by Martin Afire. There was nothing to gain from that by the time he got back. All that could have happened would if it had touched his 40, it would have gone over and it would have been head and ball to Sheffield. As it is, Widnes have head and ball 5 yards from the line.
And Widnes should get this, and they do. It's David Hume. Hume gives it to Dowd. Dowd to Alan Tate. And it's David Hume puts an early kick in. But Mark Gamson collects. Well picked up by Gamson. Gamson running strongly. And well tackled by Moriarty. Moriarty moved up well to tackle there. Moriarty's tackling's been quite impressive so far in the second half for Widnes. But this time Powell. Powell, this is a great ball by Powell. And it, well, what a great move by the Eagles.
Very, very close to a try. Bruce Maguire finding himself out on the wing. That looks as if it may have been deliberate. And very nearly getting away from Kebby and over the line, but just putting a foot in touch.
And this time Mark Aston gives away a penalty for offside at the scrum. Just relieves the pressure again for Widnes. What an exciting game, 2 points in it.
Substitutions that have been made are for Sheffield Eagles, number 15 Nick Grimolby has replaced number 10 Gary Van Bellen, and for Widnes, numbers 4.
This is a Widnes tap penalty. It's Kebby running across field. Kebby straightening up now, but easily tackled by Nick Grimolby. And it's Sorensen running across again. But again, the Sheffield defence is well up to this Widnes pressure so far. You get the feeling, though, that Sheffield would like to be another try and a goal ahead to give them a cushion, because you just can't rely on Widnes. Oh, and it's A drop ball by David Hume. And it's picked up by the Eagles again. I think it's Mark Aston. No, it's not Aston with the ball. It's Darryl Powell who picks it up. And Eagles pressure again. It's Mick Cook moving forward. Oh, and that's a great ball to Grimaldi. Oh, and it's still going. Still going, it's Dickinson. And well picked up and back to one by Warren Smiles. And this is... and tremendous... and it's Widnes coming forward. And this time it's Mark Gamson with the ball. Gamson moves forward, well tackled by Derek Pike. And it's a penalty to the Eagles. Derek Pike interfering with Gamson at the play of the ball. Doesn't look very happy with that decision though, but this is a great chance for the Eagles, perhaps to extend their lead. Steve, would you go for a penalty here?
Certainly, 2 points at this stage, very important to secure a 4-point lead again. Again, after that early Widnes penalty in this half, Sheffield have struck back well, have had 2 near misses and have looked good. Their organisation, their tactical kicking, the enthusiasm of the defence are first rate, and they're certainly giving Widnes a lot to think about this afternoon.
And it's Mark Aston going to kick this, attempt this penalty conversion from 35 yards out. A crucial penalty for the Eagles. What can Aston do? Kicks it now, and is it there? Oh, it's just gone wide of the posts. So 11 minutes gone of the second half. The Eagles still 8-6 in the lead. At Widnes to take a drop kick from their 25-yard line. It's Jonathan Davis who's going to put this ball downfield. Davis puts it down as far as Bruce Maguire. Maguire picks up, runs forward. Oh, good play by Maguire. Maguire still going. And that's great play by Maguire. Ran through the tackle of Moriarty. They're inside the Widnes 25. Widnes looking distinctly unhappy at this moment. It's Broadbent trying to burst through. He's tackled by Dowd. What can the Eagles do? Moving it up, they've got men over there. This is Aston breaking through. Can't quite make it though. Well tackled by Mackenzie. And Moriarty pushes him over, but not penalised. Oh, and this is great play, it's Jeff Hardy. Oh, and the Eagles have been penalised, I think, for crossing. Obstruction by the Eagles. And that's relief for Widnes. My goodness, Steve, they were near to scoring a try there, the Eagles.
Yes, close to the line again, with a fair decision, I think, that time. The Widnes defence prevented from getting through to the Sheffield runners.
And it's a relieving kick into touch by Davis. Widnes take the tap now. It's Kurt Sorensen. Moves forward. And Widnes still 2 points behind. It's Moriarty who gets the ball, but easily tackled by Warren Smiles. And it's Richard Ayres again trying to burst through, but this time Bruce Maguire and Andy Dickinson were equal to the task. Widnes switching the ball back inside. Derek Pike has the ball, turns and gives it to Moriarty. Moriarty looks for a man in support, finds Dowd, but Dowd can't make ground. And this time it's David Hume. He's got Davis there on his outside. Davis tries to duck inside the tackle. Davis though can't quite burst through. Almost does though. gets up to the halfway line. And that's a short kick forward. Oh, well taken by Maguire. Well, what a tremendous amount of tension there is in this game as it's Sonny Nicholl. Sonny Nicholl comes forward, tackled by Moriarty and Pike. And this time it's Aston, puts another kick deep inside the Widnes defence. And is it going to go? No, it doesn't. Tate picks the ball up, he's pressured by Maiko. And Andy Dickinson gets him this time. That's good play by the Eagles. The Eagles coming forward enthusiastically. And this time it's a Fire. Fire puts a kick downfield. But who's going to get it? Somebody's got to pick it up for the Eagles. It's Warren Smiles. Smiles passes the ball into Grimalby. The Eagles have men out there. Can Grimalby get it out? No, Grimalby's tackled by Barry Dowd. But the Eagles have pressure again, and it's non-stop pressure from the Eagles. It's Broadbent coming forward this time, but he's tackled well by Moriarty once again. And it's Phil McKenzie coming across, doing a lot of good defensive work. McKenzie for Widnes. Aston gives it to Powell, a great move, brilliant play, oh, brilliant play, it's a try to the Eagles. What a fantastic try by the Eagles. Bruce Maguire, the try was made by Mark Aston, gave the ball to the supporting Darryl Powell, who fed Maguire. And the Eagles beat the Widnes defence comfortably, Steve Alderson.
Yes, a superb planned move from the earlier play. Cook took the ball up just to settle it, and from that, Aston, the long pass from acting half-back, cutting out 2 or 3 defenders, putting Powell into the clear, well supported by Maguire, a first-class try.
Well, the crowd are really beginning to get behind the Eagles, and this is a crucial kick. It's 12 points to 6 at the moment to the Sheffield Eagles. And Aston makes a conversion after 16 minutes. The score: Eagles 14, Widnes 6.
Well, yes, Sheffield needed to score at that point. They've had a lot of pressure. One get the impression that if they hadn't scored pretty soon, then Widnes could well have come back into the game. But now they've got an 8-point cushion. Any tiredness that beginning to appear in the side should have disappeared as their enthusiasm and spirit rekindles. Sheffield are in a good position, and now Widnes are bringing off Jonathan Davis and Kurt Sorensen, and bringing back Andy Currier and Joe Grimmer. So the change has certainly been rung by Doug Lawton, suggesting that he's a little bit concerned at this stage.
Well, Jonathan Davis doesn't really seem to have shined in this game to me, Steve. We all know what a big reputation he had in rugby union, but league's a different game, and he's certainly not been outstanding today, I don't think.
Well, he's been playing in much of his league career in the centre and the wing. They moved him to stand off today, a position normally taken by Tony Myler. And he hasn't really formed a terribly effective link. But having said that, the Widnes side is struggling a little bit today, and Sheffield's enthusiasm is tremendous. Here's a break again by Smiles, gets the ball away, but it's fumbled, and I think Widnes have got possession. Indeed they have.
And what can Widnes do with it? They've rejigged their side. They're starting to worry. You've got to start to think that Sheffield could be on the way to a victory here. 17.5 minutes of the second half gone. We aren't yet at three-quarter time, so Widnes still have time to come back into this game. And certainly Widnes don't look well organised at the moment. And the Eagles must really think they've got a great chance of winning this game. And this time it's McKenzie putting kicks forward, but Nick Grimalby gets onto the ball. Good play by McKenzie. It very nearly worked for Widnes. And this time Jeff Hardy has it, comes down towards the right-hand side of the field to Martin Affire's wing. But you sense for Widnes, this is very much after the Lord Mayor's show on Wednesday night. They were brilliant against the Canberra Raiders, not quite so brilliant against the Sheffield Eagles, but having said that, we have to give Sheffield a tremendous amount of credit, and that's another great kick. Really, Steve, the Eagles are ruling this game at the moment.
Yes, organisationally, they're much better than Widnes at this stage. That was a splendid kick by Aston into the corner, and although Widnes should get possession, Sheffield have got the territorial advantage.
And really, Mark Aston's kicking game is superior to anything that Widnes have got at the moment.
Very much so. He's had an excellent game. He's had a good game in loose. His passing and organisation have been fine again, and Sheffield have won the ball against the head, so more pressure to come from them.
And it's Jeff Hardy, though, tackled by Dowd this time, but the Eagles are within the Widnes 25. Mick Cook goes forward with the ball and is tackled just 15 yards from the posts. Eagles running from acting half-back, trying to build a position. What a tremendous impact another try would make. And it's Bruce Maguire breaking through. Oh, brilliant play by Maguire. Maguire lost the ball. Oh, that could be over. It's Grimaldi's there. It's a try. My goodness me. An incredible. And this is unbelievable. The Eagles extending their lead 18 points to 6. Steve Alderson, can you believe it?
Well, they're just what they deserve. The pressure has been exerted. They won the possession against the feed there. Maguire made a dash for the line, and the key to that was the quick play of the ball by Maguire, and the ball moved out swiftly to the left, and Grimaldi crashes over for another well-deserved try.
The Eagles missed the conversion. Mark Aston failed to convert a very difficult goal kick from the touchline, but the Eagles now have a lead of 18 points to 6. And the crowd are getting behind the Eagles. That was Bruce Maguire taking on the Widnes defence, and Widnes look as though they could be heading for their first league defeat of the season. Still 18 minutes to go. And that was a serious shoulder charge by Andy Currier. 10 minutes in the sin bin for Currier. Steve, I thought that was a well-deserved stint in the sin bin. Currier clearly came forward and charged the Eagles player well after the ball had gone.
Yes, late tackle, a sign perhaps of Widnes' frustration in this game. Imagine their position, crowned world club champions on Wednesday, now coming to the newly promoted Sheffield Eagles the Sunday following, and at the moment coming out very much second best. But bad discipline by Currier. His side can ill afford to be with 12 men and 12 points behind.
And it was Mark Aston who Currier knocked to the ground, and it's clear that Aston is the man who Widnes have decided is the danger man for the Eagles. But the Eagles are not going to give in this game by any means. It's Grimaldi, the man who was signed from Fulham last season, and Grimaldi's been injured now. I think a boot just caught him of Joe Grimmer. And it's Sonny Nicol bursting forward, and certainly the Eagles can't rest on their laurels yet. Still at least 17 minutes to go plus injury time. A little bit of injury time there while Aston was being attended to, and it's a kick through by Aston. Oh, and Tate's waiting for it to go, and Tate took a chance there. It only just went over, Steve.
Almost a very good kick. It was just about a foot too weighty, but Widnes taking the tap from the 25 now and bringing it away. It's Wright dummying his way and making about 15 yards.
As the ball comes back into the middle of the field with Moriarty. Moriarty well tackled by Maguire. And Smiles. Smiles done a great job for the Eagles today. What a great find he's been. As it's Richard Ayres. Richard Ayres can't get the ball out to Kebby. And those people who came today hoping to see a star performance by Widnes, well, they've seen one by the Eagles instead, as the Eagles get the ball again from the tackle. And it's Mick Cook who gets the ball that time from Darren Wright, I think it was. No, it wasn't Wright. From Barry Dowd, I think. But anyway, it's the Eagles now. Sonny Nichols charges at the Widnes defence. Well, Widnes fans can't believe this. They're being very quiet over at the far side. As the Eagles come out again, it's with Gamson. Gamson gives it to Powell. Sorry, it was David Myko, but it's now David Nelson who's come into the middle of the field to look for the ball. Great play by the Eagles. It's Mick Cook. Oh, tremendous play. It's a drop goal by Aston. A drop goal by Aston after 65 minutes play. Puts the Eagles 19-6 ahead, and that's a crucial drop goal, Steve Alderson.
Just the right time to do it. A 13-point margin, according to Hull's coach Brian Smith. That's the magic number in a game. It means Widnes now have to score 3 times and convert tries to take the lead.
And they have 15 minutes to get back into the game and do that. And they don't look as though they're going to the way they've been playing, but you just don't know with Widnes. They're a superb side. And certainly not a side who will take defeat lightly. But what a sensation this would be if the Eagles can hang on. Both sides starting to look tired, Steve, at this stage.
Yes, at the moment, though, Sheffield are doing rather more than hanging on. They're still coming forward, making yardage, running enthusiastically, and a much better organised team.
And certainly the Eagles doing much better than the Canberra Raiders did on Wednesday night, as it's Mark Aston again who puts a ball way downfield. It's another ball. Is it heading for touch? No, it's not going to go in this time, but Tate picks the ball up. The Eagles defence up there to meet him. Tate doesn't know where to run. And it's Darryl Powell who takes...
Very good chase by the Sheffield side. I'd say nowhere to go for Tate.
This time it's Moriarty who tries to run forward, but easily tackled. Easily tackled by Paul Broadbent and Warren Smiles. And Widnes can't escape this blanket defence of the Eagles. Brilliant play by Sheffield. Richard Ayres trying to burst through the middle. Paul Broadbent equal to the task, as was Mick Cook. Oh, and that's a long ball to Kebby. Here's a chance for Widnes. Kebby, a great speed man. What can he do? But he's gone into touch. The touch judge on the far side puts his flag up, so that's another let off for the Eagles. Widnes can't really put pressure on the Eagles. They've not been able to do so since early in this game. The second half has all been Eagles, and we've just got 13 minutes to go now, plus injury time. What a sensational result we're faced with here. And it's David Myko, the young 17-year-old. And really the game being played in the Widnes half of the field. And what a boost for rugby league in Sheffield this is. Oh, and this time it's Smiles. Brilliant play by Smiles. Oh, brilliant play. Oh, and it's Hardy. Hardy could be there. It could be there. And it's a try. It's a try for the Eagles. And that must seal this game for the Sheffield Eagles. Brilliant play by the Eagles. And the crowd are getting behind the Eagles. Steve Alderson, what a fantastic performance this is.
Well, a superb try to crown a magnificent performance. Jeff Hardy, following close passing involving Powell and Smiles, making his way over the line from about 25 yards out, shrugging off Widnes tacklers in his wake. He's had a fine game, as has all the Sheffield side. This has been a splendid team performance. They thoroughly deserve this lead. No doubt there'll be talk about Widnes, that it was very much a anticlimax for them after Wednesday's game, but this has been a superb performance by Sheffield. They've not allowed Widnes really into the game, and surely now, even with Widnes's powers of coming back, Sheffield should have this game sewn up. Aston to convert, simple kick, and he makes it. So with just over 10 minutes to go, Sheffield lead by 25-6.
Well, this is unbelievable, but we're sure it's happening. It's not a dream for the Eagles. Eagles players signalling to each other, 10 minutes to go. They're in the lead by 19 points. And can the Eagles hold on to this lead? My goodness, what a lead it is. It's David Myco sprinting forward at the Widnes defence. This is an unbelievable score. And it's Grimolby. The Eagles forwards making ground every time they get the ball now. The Widnes defence looking dispirited. I've not seen Widnes look like this for a long time. The Eagles trying to burst through into the Widnes half. It's with Hardy. Hardy had such a good game for the Eagles. And what a well-balanced side the Eagles look, Steve.
Certainly, they've got plenty of power up front. They've got plenty of skills, handlers in the forward. Maguire has just added that extra dimension of forward play. The tackling has been superb. Halfback Aston has been a splendid organiser today and good tactical kicker. And the player that has probably most impressed me has been loose forward Warren Smiles, whose determination and tackling has been superb, and his work running close to the ruck has caused all sorts of problems for the Widnes defence.
And a lot of people can feel very proud about this game with just 10 minutes to go. Oh, and it's the Eagles get the ball again. And that time it was Andy Dickinson. Nicol picks it up from acting half-back, and the Widnes defence is moving forward. And that was significant. Sonny Nicol burst through the tackles of Derek Pike and Paul Hume with very little difficulty. I think the Widnes team are now looking resigned to defeat. It's always so dangerous to say that about Widnes, but certainly time's running out for them. And this is another chance. It's Mark Gamson bursting through. Oh, and that's a great inside pass. But the Eagles couldn't score that time, but they're just yards from the Widnes line. And it's an Eagles player. I couldn't quite see who it was, Steve. I don't know whether you could recognise that player.
I'm not sure at this moment. He was very, very close to scoring. It could well have been another try. Good tackle by Tate, in fact, just stopped him.
And Steve, while we have this break in play, I was just thinking and just going to say that the rest of the rugby league world just won't believe this result.
No, we're looking at history being made here. I think it's been coming. Sheffield, with 3 excellent away wins in the First Division, have certainly caught the eye, but this one will put them very much on the rugby league map. And what is particularly gratifying today is that all these people from Sheffield who've perhaps come to watch a rugby league match for the first time now know that they have a side in Sheffield that is competitive with any in the rugby league.
I'm sure all the people of Sheffield will feel proud after today's game if the result remains as it is. But unfortunately we have a player who is badly injured by the look of it. The stretcher just being wheeled onto the field by the St John's Ambulance Brigade. And I'm still not absolutely sure which player it is. It could be David Myco. And that would be a great shame if it were Myco. Well, obviously a great shame whoever it is.
Sad to see that substitution for Sheffield Eagles. Unfortunately, number 1 Sheffield Eagles fullback David Myco is having to be replaced by number 10 Gary Van.
And as play resumes, the Eagles go back straight onto the attack. But this time it's a turnover, the first turnover we've seen in today's game. Widnes get the ball.
And the Sheffield substitute, Halafihi, on for Myco.
There's the crowd giving David Maiko a tremendous reception as he comes off the field. And Sheffield have the ball again, as it's Sonny Nicol. Oh, and that was a penalty to Widnes. That looked like a good planned move, but Bruce Maguire burst through and obstructed the Widnes defence. And we've got Gary Van Bellen coming back onto the field to replace Paul Broadbent. And we have just 5 minutes plus injury time to go. Probably about 3 minutes of injury time. As Widnes trying to attack this Sheffield defence, time running out for Widnes. And it's David Nelson. And a penalty to Widnes. Widnes still with the ball. Penalty to Sheffield. And we've been having some interference with the broadcast in the last few minutes, but we're now back to normal service, as it's a penalty to Sheffield put into touch just below us here, and it's Gary Van Bellen who's come back on as a substitute for Paul Broadbent, gets the ball, moves forward, and Eagles still looking well on top as we move into the very final stages of this game. And it's Jeff Hardy bursting through, but surely Widnes now can't do anything to stop an Eagles victory. It wasn't Hardy, it was Halafi who burst through. Halafi bears a slight resemblance to Hardy. And Eagles still moving forward. Aston has the ball, gives it to Hardy this time. Hardy to Powell, Powell to Gamson. This is a great opportunity for Sheffield. It's Nicol, Sonny Nicol. It must be there. It must be a try. Oh, brilliant try by the Eagles. My goodness. This is an incredible victory. Steve Alderson, it's unbelievable.
It is there. They found room on the outside of the left wing there. Clever play by Powell. Picked up Gamson on his outside. Gamson able to turn the ball back inside to Nicol, who shrugged off the defence to go over for another splendid try. And Widnes's humiliation is almost complete.
And 29 points to 6. 29 points to 6 with a conversion to come by Mark Aston. Not too difficult. Aston just to the side of the posts, and if he can make this conversion, it puts Sheffield into the 30s. And he does indeed. And it's Aston making the score Eagles 31. And Eagles 31-6 in the lead. Who could possibly have believed this score? Who could possibly have believed it? Certainly the Widnes supporters must be absolutely astonished at this game. This must be the most sensational result in rugby league for many years. And it's the Eagles coming forward again. It's Gamson brings the ball forward. Tackled by Moriarty. Round the neck by Moriarty there. This time it's Bramall. Tremendous play by Sheffield, but just knocked the ball on there. It's a scrum down. We're at the end of normal time. We're into injury time. Probably about 2.5 minutes of injury time to go. And it's Widnes now back on the attack in the just outside the Eagles 25. Time much too late now though for Widnes to come back into this game, and this result will surely send out a message to all the rest of the clubs in the first division of the rugby league. And it's David Hume this time bursting forward. He's got a fire in support. It's Darren Wright trying to get to the Widnes line, and the tackle count back to 1, says Mr. Tennant. And Widnes now putting the game together. It's Alan Tate who's going to burst through. No. Eagles defence is still up to it right at the last. And the ball goes back this time, and it's Richard Ayres, and Widnes losing ground. Widnes can't score. It's Currier back on the field after his stint in the Simmons, gives it to Kebby. Kebby goes into touch though, and Widnes can't score. This is incredible.
And Sheffield Eagles player of the match this afternoon, chosen by Brian Sanders. Today's match sponsor's Woodway is number 7, Mark Aston.
And it's Mark Aston, the man of the match, and a well-deserved award. Steve Alderson-Aston has really had a superb influence on today's game.
He has. His passing game has been quite excellent, and his organisational skills first-rate.
And time running out for Widnes. And there we are, the end of the game. And it's Eagles 31, Widnes 6. An incredible result. And this will make rugby league in Sheffield, Steve Alderson.
Well, you couldn't have had a better script for it. To defeat the recently crowned world champions a mere 5 days after their victory has really made this club come of age. And Sheffield can now have the confidence to go on and know they can compete with any club in this country and give a game. Not only give a game, but to beat them.
And the crowd rising to the Eagles now as they come to the edge of the pitch. All the Sheffield crowd staying behind to applaud them as they come off the pitch at Bramall Lane. And how richly deserved that applause is by the Eagles. A brilliant performance to defeat the world champions. Well, and Sheffield rises to the Sheffield Eagles. Well, 5 years ago, Gary Hetherington established the Sheffield Eagles Rugby League Club, but who could have dreamed? Who could have dreamed? Who would that this score would have come about. We're going to try to get down onto the pitch to interview Mark Aston or any Eagles player. We'll be back shortly. Jeff Hardy, 2 tries today, a magnificent performance, 31 points to 6 against the world champions. Really, it was an outstanding team performance.
Yes, certainly was. We didn't give Widnes a chance. We really defended well, and that was our main object when we got out there, was to cut them off, because we know how dangerous they are. And I thought, from about 90% of the time, we didn't give them a look in and closed them up, put them under pressure, and we ended up getting the points in the end.
When you came over to Sheffield at the start of the season, they were a club who had just been promoted. You must have thought they'd be struggling against relegation. You could have hardly imagined they'd beat a team like Widnes. No,
not at all. I've always heard of Widnes back home. I've never heard of Sheffield Eagles before. And when we come up to play them after they beat Canberra, it was going to be a big task. And to win like that is certainly a moment to be cherished.
And you must have enjoyed your 2 tries as well.
Yeah, certainly. I haven't scored for a couple of games, and it was good to pick up a couple more and get back on the board again. It was terrific, tremendous.
So where do you think the Eagles go from here? They've beaten the world champions. Who else can they beat?
Well, one game at a time. Let's bring on Castleford next week, and let's give them a hiding as well.
But it's looking great now, and no chance of relegation, I would think.
No, relegation's way out of our mind. We're looking at the top 8. They want to play Australia next year. Congratulations, Jeff, once again, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Warren Smiles, this is your 2nd season with the Sheffield Eagles. You came last year when they were in the middle of a struggling period. They came well towards the end of last season, but the progress made in that year since you've been here must be beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah, well, it's a credit to everyone involved, really, not just the coaching staff in Gary and Howard, Steve Ferris, but the players themselves. The guys have done a lot of work individually as well as a team, so it's worked out pretty well. I actually thought the side on the pitch today looked better organised than Widnes, which is really saying something when you're talking about the World Club champions. Well, I think on the day it all comes down to how well another side lets the other side play. Pressure in defence always makes the side look untidy, and I think today we put the pressure on them in the defence. At what point did you know that you were going to win the game? Probably when we were well ahead, 20 points ahead. It starts to make it, you realise they've got to score 3 times or something to win. Widnes is a side that can score from anywhere. So it's a pressure situation the whole time. It's like a boiling kettle. It's at any time it can go off. So you've really got to be on your merits, and that's probably what helped us win the game. If anything, we knew we had to play for 80 minutes, and that's what helped us win. Was 80 consistent minutes. I thought your own play from acting half-back was superb. You're putting players into gaps, making so much ground from the play of the ball. You must have been quite surprised that it was so easy. Well, yes and no. I've had a look at them on video recently, and I think the way they play their defensive pattern suited me around the acting halfback, and I was lucky enough to exploit it. And finally, Warren, I think a lot of Eagles fans will be hoping that you've got a long-term future with this club. Is that the way you see it? Well, I'm going to try. It comes down to immigration department in the mainstay, so at the moment I'm sorting a few things out in that department, so hopefully I can stay. I'd be more than happy to. Well, there are a lot of Sheffield Eagles supporters who will give you a good reference if you need one. Well, I'm looking for a few, so if anybody's out there, you might be able to write in one to the office. Thanks again. Thanks very much, Warren.
Well, we've been training hard all week. We had a good preparation. We came away on Saturday afternoon and did a bit more training on the field. Been out and done a bit this morning, all worked together. Had a good atmosphere in the club. Went upfield and carried it on there. And your kicking game today was absolutely a superb feature of the game. Everything seemed to go well for you. Well, that's right. I was a bit disappointed with myself last week. I had a bit of a bad game last week with me kicking and dropping on loose balls and that, so I had to make amends today. Thanks, Mark. Congratulations once again. It's a historic game and you must feel absolutely delighted. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks.